So I'm absolutely thrilled, privileged, and humbled by the receipt of the Founders Medal from the Society, an honor for which I am immensely grateful. In the 1960s, as a child, growing up in deepest, darkest rural Cornwall, my prized possession was the multi-volume Ladybird book series, Adventures from History. Each volume was 50 pages, 25 pages of text, 25 pages of hand-painted illustrations. David Livingstone was a favorite, as was Captain Scott. It would have been completely unimaginable then, and in some ways it still is, to think that I would ever receive a medal from the RGS, as both those men did. In Livingstone's case, however, he refused the medal, but took the 50 guineas, which was then also part of the award, and is now, I did the calculations, worth something around £7,000. So maybe it's time to bring back the financial prize. In Scott's case, it was posthumous. The RGS's Patron medal presented to his widow in an inscribed casket. Now, unlike Livingstone and Scott, I am an armchair geographer, or at least a wheelchair geographer. As one of my UBC friends says, I bring my own chair of geography with me wherever I go. But it makes doing the normal geographer thing, going to exotic, faraway places, tackling harsh environments, difficult, if not impossible. Snow, ice, soft sand, small pebbles, steep inclines, ancient and medieval towns, and most cities in the global south literally stop me cold. My friction of distance exponent approaches infinity. So what is wonderful about the discipline of geography, unflinchingly upheld by this institution, and partly providing me with an opportunity to have had a career of almost 4 decades, is its open-minded, enthusiastic encouragement of a varied and diverse disciplinary subject matter and forms of inquiry. It has no single model of a geographer, allowing me to be one. I think of geography as a Gerald Manley Hopkins discipline, recognizing and celebrating above all dappled things, all things counter, original, spare, strange. And I have done some very strange things in the name of geography. It began as a callow youth with my representation of an imagined economic geographical landscape as a set of bone-chilling equations of matrix algebra. It continued in my exploration to disinter long-buried metaphors and tropes, collectively shaping geographers' earth writing, their geographia, their geography, and most recently, it's taken the quixotic quest to understand why, during the mid-1970s, I had the geographical education I did at University College London, which in turn pushed me down the escalator of history, taking me from the 1960s US geography heartlands of the American Midwest to the World War II Nazi occupation, replanning, and mortal landscape of Eastern Europe. In making that journey, I was inspired by my teachers, who each in their own way brilliantly took advantage of geography's porousness and tolerance, spectacularly demonstrating the discipline's potential. John Adams and David Lowenthal at University College London, Eric Shepherd, Yifu Tuan, and Fred Lukeman at the University of Minnesota. They all took up the discipline's challenge to recognize variety, to recognize a pluriverse, and so has the RGS today, honoring me with a medal, as it did the very different geographers, David Livingstone and Captain Scott. I'm enormously indebted. Thank you so much.